So there is a lot of money in Austin. It is one of the biggest tech hubs of the country, and over 100 people are moving here every single day. And yes, you can drive around the city and you can see $1 million, $2 million homes kind of around any corner. That's just the state of what's going on in Austin right now. But to see the top luxury homes, you are not just going to stumble across them as you're driving around town. And that's kind of the point. So today we are going to talk about Austin's top 4 luxury neighborhoods. I'm going to show you pictures of some of the most expensive homes in Austin that sold in the past year. Hi, I'm Tiffany Moore. I'm a local realtor and broker right here in Austin, Texas. I help people from all over the world buy and sell homes here. And I put out videos every week showcasing what it's like to live here, the development that's going on, all the growth that's happening. So if you want to make sure you don't miss anything, be sure to click subscribe. And if you're thinking about moving here and you've got questions, there's a link in the description. Click that. It'll take you to my calendar and you can book a call with me. So let's start with the classic. Spanish Oaks is probably one of the most iconic classic luxury neighborhoods in Austin. It's about 900 acres and it has over 485 homes. And these homes range anywhere from 2,500 square feet to over 10,000 square feet. So what makes this one of the most exclusive top luxury neighborhoods in Austin? Some of it is the amenities, a lot of it is the location. Really, it's just the prestige and the name of Spanish Oaks, but we're really going to jump into some really nice houses in here. I'm going to show you pictures of a house that sold this year. So what makes Spanish Oaks so special? One, it has a really cool residents-only fish camp. So you can go fishing there whenever you want. They've got pecan groves, they've got miles and miles of trails along the creeks, covered by beautiful trees, surrounded by the woods. There's a private Spanish Oaks golf club, which was ranked number 3 in Texas in 2019 by Golf Week. They have a pool pavilion with lap lanes, with quiet areas for adults. They've got a little sandy beach area for little kids. And they have 2 gate houses that are staffed 24/7. So in the past year, one of the most expensive sales in Austin was in Spanish Oaks, and it sold for $7.75 million. This house was 9,000 square feet, and at the sold price, that is a rate of $871 per square foot. The lot size was about 1.3 acres, and this house had 5 bedrooms, 9 baths, 7 of which were full baths. The design is really beautiful. It's like a modern contemporary with a lot of natural elements. You've got a lot of stone and wood. It has an infinity pool with a separate hot tub, and there is a beautiful wine room and a gorgeous chef's kitchen. So Spanish Oaks is about 30 minutes outside of downtown Austin. It's to the west out in the Lakeway/Bee Cave area. So really if you take 71 West, just out there and you keep going, it's tucked into Bee Cave. And Bee Cave is really pretty because, one, it's pretty close to downtown and it's close to the water. So there's also a lot of hiking and beautiful hills and golf courses and things like that. Bee Cave is one of the best places to live if you want to be surrounded by nature, if you want a little bit of privacy, if you don't want to be so close to your neighbors, but you still want the amenities of Austin. So there's a lot of shopping and cool restaurants out in Bee Cave. You're really close to Lakeway and all those shops there, and you're close to the water. So it's kind of a mix of both worlds where you're only 30 minutes from downtown, but you still have some privacy and some seclusion. You're in the middle of nature and you have access to the water. It's a really gorgeous area, and that's where 2 of the neighborhoods that we're going to talk about today, they're kind of tucked away in this little area close to Spanish Oaks. So we've got Spanish Oaks and then another one that we're going to talk about too. So another one of Austin's top 4 luxury neighborhoods is Barton Creek. And this is one of Austin's older and larger neighborhoods with some of the homes dating back to the 1920s. Spanish Oaks is a little bit more contemporary. The homes in that neighborhood are not any older than like 20 or 30 years old, and that is still stretching it a little bit. They're actually still building homes in Spanish Oaks. Barton Creek is surrounded by the Barton Creek Greenbelt and by Zilker Park, and it's really not far from Spanish Oaks. So this is one of the other communities that's tucked away in that Bee Cave area that's still pretty close to downtown, but close to Lakeway and close to all the hiking and the amenities out there. One of the major perks of Barton Creek is that it's home to some of the best schools in the state of Texas. So within Barton Creek, you've got the Barton Creek Resort and Club, which has got multiple golf courses, tennis, swimming, dining, and spa facilities, and you also have the mandatory property owners membership of the OMNI Barton Creek Country Club. So one of the most expensive homes in Austin that sold last year was in Barton Creek. It sold for $7.84 million, which is pretty similar to the price of the home that we just saw in Spanish Oaks. But this house is completely different, like a totally different style. You can't even compare the two. So the home in Barton Creek, its estate is gated and it's 15,000 square feet. So at a sales price of $7.84 million, that sold for about $490 per square foot. But this estate is on 7.8 acres. It has 7 bedrooms, 11 baths. 9 of those baths are full baths. And the design is completely different from what we saw in Spanish Oaks. This is a classic Italian Baroque design. I would almost call it opulent. It's just like these beautiful marble columns. You've got gorgeous statues everywhere. It really looks like you are in like an Italian palace, and no luxury, no expense was spared. If you're old enough to remember the lifestyles of the rich and famous, that's what this house reminds me of. Plus, it has incredible views, like just breathtaking. And this house was bought in cash. So the 2 neighborhoods that we talked about are out in the Bee Cave area. They're about 30 minutes outside of town. The one that we're looking at now is in the middle of Austin. So it's about 15 minutes from downtown, but it's only 6.5 miles. So a good chunk of that driving time is going to be just coming down the mountain and going through like the windy roads down the hill to get into town. So this community is Summit at West Rim on Mount Larson. And there are a lot of like tiny little neighborhoods within this Summit at West Rim neighborhood. So the Summit at West Rim, this is the main neighborhood that we're talking about. The house that we're going to look at specifically is at Summit at West Rim on Mount Larson. This is in the Westlake Hills area of Austin. It's just to the west of the river, so you've got gorgeous views out there. It's tucked in way up into the Austin Hills, like I mentioned, and you have those like beautiful winding roads coming down. It's very secluded. It's very private. Some of the community amenities are private boat slip, tennis courts, and neighborhood parks. And the roads to this neighborhood, like I mentioned, they just wind all up and down the hills of Austin. There's tons of established oak trees. It's very green. You really just feel like you're in this lush canopy up above the city. A lot of the houses in this community are gated, and it is very secluded. Like, you are not just going to stumble across this neighborhood as you're driving around Austin. You kind of have to know where you're going to even be able to find it. So this area is perfect for privacy, for seclusion, if you're looking for peace and quiet, with truly amazing views and just so many trees. It's just so lush and green. You almost feel like you're in this tropical environment and this this gorgeous tree house just perched above Austin. So the house that we are going to look at has a very cool contemporary design. I would say it reminds me of architecture that you'd see in California or in Hawaii. It's very open, lots of windows, lots of sliding glass doors and natural light. You can actually open all of the sliding glass doors and just have like this open courtyard family room area. It's really, really beautiful, especially when the weather is nice in Austin. I can just imagine sitting in your family room with the doors open and the windows open and just like hearing the birds and hearing the crickets and all of nature around you. Just an amazing setting. So here are the details for this house. And just so you know, like the patio and the openness that I was just talking about, 30 of the 40 pictures in the MLS are of the patio, the pool views, the family room, etc. So like those are the major drawing points for this home for sure. So this house sold last year for just under $12 million and it's about 6,100 square feet. So that puts it at a rate of about $2,100 per square foot. And this is about double the rate for the house that we saw in Spanish Oaks, which was on about a 1 acre lot. And it's about 4 times the rate for the house that was in Barton Creek. But remember, that house in Barton Creek was on like 8 acres. And this one that we're talking about right now is on about a 1 acre lot. So this house was built in 2021. It's pretty much brand new. It's 4 bedrooms, 7 baths, and 5 of those are full baths. And this house was also paid for in cash. So the 4th luxury community that we're looking at today is called Caslano, and the house specifically that we're checking is called Villa Caslano. It's an estate that's on Lake Austin, which is a dammed off part of the Colorado River in this Caslano neighborhood. So this house is really close to Bee Cave, where Spanish Oaks and Barton Creek are. It's very close as the crow flies, but because of the roads and the river and the hills and everything, it actually is going to take like 30 minutes for you to drive from Castellano to Bee Cave, because you have to go like all the way up, avoid the rivers, come all the way back down, and then you're in the Bee Cave area. But just so you know, it's in the same general area. The style of this home you would think of as like a classic Spanish style estate. It's got gorgeous wood beams, rich dark wood everywhere, beautiful carvings. It's gorgeous. So homes in this Castellano community have acreage and they're riverfront. Those are two things that make them very special. This is an exclusive gated community within the Steiner Ranch community. So the original Steiner Ranch, the land owned by the Steiner family, was a total of 5,200 acres and was later developed into the Steiner Ranch community that we know today. If you're not familiar with Steiner Ranch, this is one of the most coveted communities and neighborhoods in Austin. Everyone that I talk to that lives there, like, absolutely loves living there. It's an awesome sense of community. There's beautiful amenities. There's gorgeous golfing out there. And it's just a really great location. There's tons of shops, neighborhoods. It's in the hilly section of Austin, and it feels like you're driving through California when you're driving through this area. It's gorgeous. So just to kind of put some context around this area for you. So the original Steiner Ranch, the land owned by the Steiner family, was a total of 5,200 acres, and the majority of that was developed into the Steiner Ranch community. But the Steiners reserved a small parcel of 9 acres for themselves for their personal estate, and this parcel is within the Castellano community. So just wanted to give you some context on the history of Castellano, and kind of the exclusivity of it is that one of the biggest families known in Austin, their private ranch and their private estate was in this Castellano community. So Castellano only has 38 custom homes, and they're on land ranging anywhere from 2 acres to 12 acres, all on the shores of Lake Austin. So some of the amenities that residents of Steiner Ranch and of Castellano get to enjoy are private membership on the Lake Club of Lake Austin, multiple basketball courts, and lighted tennis courts. There are 4 swimming pools in Steiner Ranch, including a year-round heated pool, and there are full-time, like, non-stop activities and 3 community centers within Steiner Ranch. Also, for golfers, there's an 18-hole course, which was designed by Roy Bechtold, and it is the official home of the University of Texas golf team. So this championship course provides gorgeous backdrops for so many of the homes within Steiner Ranch. It's really just a beautiful community. It's a beautiful area. People love living there, and Castellano is kind of like the pinnacle of Steiner Ranch. So the house that we're looking at today sold in Castellano recently for $10.7 million. It's about 7,000 square feet, so that is a rate of about $1,500 per square foot. The house is on 3.2 acres, and it has about 285 feet of just riverfront. It also has an infinity pool, a pool house, and a full-size lighted tennis court. This house has got 5 bedrooms, 9 baths. 7 of those baths are full. It was built in 2008, and it was also paid for in cash. So I mentioned that there's a lot of money in Austin. It's one of the biggest tech hubs in the country, and people are moving out here from San Jose, from Seattle, and New York. And yeah, they're buying $1 million, $2 million houses, and you can see these houses anywhere when you're driving around town. Like, you're early for dinner, like, oh, let's just drive around this community for a minute. You're going to see those houses everywhere. But these houses, the top luxury neighborhoods in Austin, you have got to know where to go to see these. You are not just going to stumble around them when you're just like on a stroll early for dinner. And that's kind of the point. It's the privacy, it's the exclusivity, it's the views, it's all those things that make these some of the most coveted neighborhoods in Austin. So if you're thinking about moving here and you have any questions at all about the top 4 luxury neighborhoods in Austin, or any neighborhood for that matter, there's a link in the description. Reach out to me, book a call. I would be happy to help you out. Thank you so much. I'll talk to you soon.